for a look into that win.
Thank you very much, Pyra. H2K storming here in that game one and taking it. And so picks and bans were crazy to start off in this game one. And to me, it felt like Fnatic had a plan in their head that they wanted to execute to a T, but the way the bans came out, they still held on to that plan, even though they couldn't get their hands on the champions they might have wanted.
I kind of feel the same. I think if you look at the early game strategy from Fnatic, they had a very clear jungle goal. They stuck Steel back in the mid lane on that Kalista to go 1v1 against Diana from Ryu. We don't have the bans on the side here, but it was 6 top lane bans. Maokai Lulu Sion from Fnatic, Rumble Hecarim Shyvana from H2K. And when you've got 6 top laners that have been played in the top lane, with the exception of that Shyvana, off the table, Huni's then forced to pick and choose where he wants to go. I don't think the Lee Sin did anything other than steal a few jungle camps. Yes, he stole some buffs at the end of the game, but they didn't result in anything in the bigger picture. So I think for Fnatic, they have to go back to a smarter pick and ban strategy. Cho'Gath, no impact. Steelback offered no resistance to Ryu's Diana, and by the time we hit 10 minutes, Ryu was so far ahead of Febiven in farm.
Yeah, absolutely. Like they went into the game with a game plan, and the H2K bans were pretty smart for that and kind of denied what they initially had in mind, and they didn't adapt pretty well. Fnatic, what Fnatic should do is go away from what they initially planned and go back to their standard game, what they're best at. The Shen pick on the other side is perfect against everything that Fnatic usually does. Early game rotations, early game pressure, early game teleports, and once that Shen hits level 6, he's able to counter-gank just everything.
I completely agree. There's one small caveat. There was a pretty terrible TP bottom lane, that Oduam they had, or Stand United rather, where he came in to try and save Hyanin. It didn't work out. Now, because of some positioning mistakes and some great play from Kasing around the dragon immediately after, it didn't hurt H2K, but there was some team fight small mistakes against the Copenhagen Wolves last week that could have been punished, and if Fnatic had a slightly better comp or slightly better positioning, that mid-game could have gone quite differently as well. So I like it in theory, but they've got to be very, very careful not to make those mistakes.
The theory is great, but the execution... Yeah. Rather not so.
And I think you hit the nail on the head when you say, okay, Oduwamne instantly realized that that was a bad TP. He ran away, and they already set up to come back because they know that Dragon would be up 1 second later. And as you said, crucial in that one is Kasing, the way he engages, the way he plays in general. Let's get a replay up on the screen because we can't praise him enough in this one on his Annie. So lethal.
You know, last week we touched on Kasing and Ryu, and there was a big debate who should be MVP. Look at the reaction time from Kasing on this Annie. I think he's the best Annie in Europe. I called it out last week and then he failed. But this is a good reasoning. Double stun from Tibbers as soon as Hyanin gets away. H2K are going to turn this gank around and actually pick up a kill when it was Fnatic initiating, Fnatic starting the engage. Kasing on his Annie single-handedly defeated SK during the regular split, and there's going to be another team fight here where his positioning and his read on the fight is just so good.
Yeah, absolutely. He gets kicked into the blue buff, as we see here, and then he just reads the team fight perfectly. He knows that his team is capable of holding them in the river. So what he does is he goes back to the gap where they go if they try to run away, and then he just picks them off. As we see here, the kill coming in on Huni. He's fairly even, so just one auto attacker Q does the deal. And then he just closes the gap where Fnatic guys try to escape, and he ends it up. It was a terrible team fight for Fnatic already, but this just makes it dramatically worse.
Yeah, and the thing that's so impressive is that Fnatic were the team that were meant to be aggressive. Fnatic were the team that we're expecting to be super in-your-face, super fighting. But it was H2K that was doing it this game. Almost any opportunity that Kasing found, he was flash engaging, he was flash stunning, and all of H2K responded. Ryu by the end was so fed and could clean up, but it was all, in my opinion, led by Kasing on that front line, reading Fnatic and moving around the map.
Absolutely. But with those picks, what early game aggression can you expect? You got Cho'Gath in the mid lane, who's not known for being like the most aggressive early game champion in the game. Then you got Huni on Lee Sin, who had, like, quite frankly, no impact on the game. I mean, he was just like a kickbot then later on. He had nothing to offer. And then you had Kalista in the mid lane, who quite frankly didn't get the lead that he was supposed to get. If you put the Kalista against the Diana mid game, usually you should have more impact on her.
All right. Well, to illustrate how good it went for H2K and how bad for Fnatic, usually at 10 minutes in, H2K is not ahead in gold. This time they were almost 1,000 gold ahead at 10 minutes. And at 20 minutes, they were ahead 6,679 gold. And we thought that it might be the different scenario. They might fall behind at 20 and not be able to fight back, completely turn the tables.
Completely. I mean, H2K came out the gate swinging. Let's be very honest. Fnatic went all in on a risky team composition, right? They pick champions that is relatively new, in a style that is relatively new. As Dentist has already said, it's not that trademark aggression that could come from Fnatic. Their early game, let's say the first 3 minutes, went to plan. And then nothing happened, right? They didn't get leads. They didn't stomp their lanes. H2K just mechanically outplayed them. So that all-in strategy backfired already by 5 minutes. I think if they go back to a more standard team comp and style, we shouldn't see that same drastic lead in game 2, and it should be a more competitive, even grounds.
Especially knowing that they were 2-0 up over H2K when they ran those compositions that they liked. So we'll see what they go for. And as the team's ready up for game 2, we'll hear from Fnatic's surprise star on what it's like to go from being a familiar face in Korean solo queue to being the fan favorite of the European LCS.
In Korea to practice for the World Championship, we played against Huni and his team. They were really good.
I was in Samsung Galaxy, but only just practice players. We won really easy versus Fnatic.
He was a really good player, and then I was a bit worried, to be honest. Huni was barely speaking English, so we really need a translator, which was running over. So both together was really good, having the combination of them.
잡았다. I think we can kill him. 천천히. We got first blood.
Nice.
밀어. 같이 밀자. I can carry this game. No joke.
When I'm improving my English, we could better communicate.
I was impressed of how fast he's learning English. We can see the improvement, and yeah, he just reminds a bit of me when I was younger. He's just smiling all the time, being happy, trying to improve everything he can.
Let's go, boys.
I didn't know all chat is on streaming, so I only think if I give some fun for my team, they can smile, so they lose nervous, they can more focus.
Why today so all shut up?
We are all nervous.
What? Is this nervous?
Yes.
Oh, big problem, guys.
Why?
If we like say something random and then it make us funny, so we can like get rid of some nervous.
I really like seeing this attitude because it makes the mood really good.
I love it.
What are you going to say today to make yourself even more famous?
Oh no, I'm stop trolling. Really, I'm never more so trolling. I want to stop famous. I'm really famous, you know?
Before enjoying Fnatic, I have 0 followers. I have no fans.
Huni. I have to carry. Okay? Please give me a kill.
If I just played well, they called Huni. It's really good for me. I get more confidence, I get more focus, and feeling is really happy.
Did you expect to be this famous? How do you feel about that?
정말 제가 이렇게 유명해질 줄은 제가 이렇게 말하기는 그런데 유명해질 줄은 몰랐고 레딧도 그렇고 제 팬들 중에서도 저를 굉장히 좋아해 주셔서 다행이라고 생각하고 있어요. 그리고 앞으로도 좋은 모습 많이 보여드릴 거고 팬들 분께 감사하다는 말씀드리고 싶습니다.
I am a sports star, look like that. It's cool. So I'm really glad.